knows that HRs are wicked, HRs do not have empathy, HRs are witches. What's your experience about HR? Why you get to share your own experience? I have a guest to speak today that will be sharing her experience about HR. I hope it's a palatable one. Right. Meet Adeshola, my learned colleague. Hi Adeshola, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm very fine.
It's a beautiful Monday. What's your week looking like?
It's looking right so far. I can really hope that I get to accomplish my set goals.
Interesting. So Adeshola, it's nice to have you here, and you know what it's all about. It's been about HR Unmasked. Unmasking the HR, rebranding the HR from what people know to what people need to know about HR. But before we do this, when you work with various organizations, you've had experiences with HR, and when HR comes to mind, what comes to mind when I say the word HR?
Yeah, when you say the word HR, what really comes to mind is the person that is supposed to represent the interest of employees in the organization. That's what really comes to mind.
Mind is HR. So, with your experience so far with HR, what's the standout experience for you having engaged with the number of HRs in the past?
Okay, it's not experience. I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences. So I think the bad ones stood out.
Let's focus on the bad part since we are rebranding HR.
Yeah. So the bad one stood out because at the time that I needed my HR manager to stand up for me, she didn't. And then it eventually led me to leave that organization. That was the last straw for me. So it was a case of having contributed my quota to the organization, always going to the extreme, always doing beyond what I'm expected to do and all of that. And then the day I needed a bit of grace from the firm, I think I got an admission in school. I needed to go to school to process my admission. That's the registration and whatnot. And then I came to the office that day just to, get things done, and then just to get the things I needed to do that day done. Then at 12 o'clock, I went to the HR to let her know, and I really need to run back to school to complete my registration process and all. And then she was fine with it, but until she communicated that to the management, and then the management told her to tell me that I had to come back to the office that day, which was not possible because this was already 12 o'clock. I'm going for a registration where there are several other students. I'm definitely going to win. So when I mentioned that it wasn't possible, she insisted and said if I did not come back, they would deduct my salary for that day, taking us. I never came to the office. So that was quite upsetting because I would have expected that that's not even a communication, that's not a conversation that should even be having with the HR. It should be the HR mediating between me and the management, let them know, oh, this is why she can go, or this is why she should go. But that never happened. And as true to their words, I didn't come back because I couldn't. As at 6 o'clock, I was still struggling to get to the next stage of my registration. And true to their words, my salary was deducted that way. So that day, I realized that okay, it actually doesn't matter what effort or how much of yourself you contribute to an organization when you truly need them to show up for you. They do not. And also, it also gave me a really bad impression about what the HR is supposed to represent. They're supposed to fight for me. That was clearly unfair, but I was left to my devices.
Interesting. My beautiful viewers, right? And Adeshola has shared her story. But then I'd also want to ask Adeshola, are you aware what conversation must have transpired between the HR and the management?
Oh, well, I am not aware.
At that point, I'm not going to be biased because I'm an HR practitioner, right? But the truth is that most times employees are not aware of what goes on behind the scenes between HR and management. First, you need to understand that HR is not a board of directors. HR is also an employee. And when situations like this come up, HR can give best advice, can recommend, but then the onus lies on management because they are management, right? They'll be like, oh, I hire you, you should be on my side and not on the side of employees. And that's the advocacy issue that we've been having over the years. Managers are like, oh, HR, you are not on my side. employees are like, oh, HR, you're not fighting for me. But the truth is, behind the scenes, HR actually advocates rather for employees, but this is not seen. And I think sometimes what happens is the transparency. Probably when HR allows the employees to know what is being said, or try to look in the employees when these conversations are had, not practically, but probably mail trails and all of that. In this way, HRs can be exonerated. But then, I mean, it's going to take a lot of effort, which this movement is dedicated to mask the HR, to mask things that goes on behind the scenes for everyone to be aware. But then again, some HRs do not go over and above to advocate for employees, which we truly understand. And that's why this platform is also to educate those HRs to remain human, to bring in empathy, and also together we can advance the HR. Until I see you again next time, stay human, stay honest. HR Unmasked. Real people, real truth. Bye.